Whatever way you know ILLIT, you've almost for sure seen negativity surrounding them. This video is my version of a deep dive into perceptions and allegations of K-pop survival shows. The dislike for Are You Next, the start of ILLIT's hate train. The problem with their concept, how MHJ impacted them, and their success. Note that I said my version. This is because I'm honestly not a great content creator. Basically, don't expect this to be nearly as good as an Everglow Up, Winterosi, Chojimi, or anyone else's, okay? Take this whole video with a grain of salt. It's my opinions, and you are entitled to your own. With that being said, feel free to leave a hate comment and have a miserable time. Survival shows are kind of like reality TV. In both we are presented with an unobtainable life that us low-to middle-class peasant people can never have. To achieve the high-level drama needed, reality TV does so with romance, affairs, parties, alcohol, etc. Whereas K-pop survival shows prefer to showcase this through trauma. Yes, they love to throw these poor trainees around like ragdolls, constantly removing them just to add them back last minute, harshly criticizing them, laughing at them. Although it's the point of the show, knowing you could have your dream taken any day is traumatic and stressful. They also like to emulate drama through Mean Girls. No, not the movie, but have there be specific victims and bullies. But it's such a rarity for a soon-to-be idol to viciously attack another. It'd cut their chances in half. So companies take some creative liberty, per se, in the editing. AKA what K-pop stans have learned to be evil editing, where a specific trainee is painted as a perpetrator in order to nudge viewers into voting for the victim. This is done without their consent, obviously, who wants to be shown as a vile person. Outside of exaggeration, we also have the accusations of rigging the show in a multitude of ways. First is obviously evil editing, but the second is that companies often already know the debut concept, which would give an upper hand to the trainees that possess the traits needed for said concept. Who wants a girl crush member with soft, round features and abilities? Third is that a lot of the time they already have the members picked out, using the survival show just to gain more popularity for the already set group. And for the fourth and final one, we have just flat out rigging the votes. Oh, fans mainly voted for this person. Well, she isn't really what we're looking for, so we'll just swap these two's votes. This works hand in hand with the previous two, and Mnet is probably most accused of this. However, accusations spiral out every time there's a new show, oftentimes rooted in nothing.
I'm just trying to play cool, but I just can't hide that I want you.
So, did ILLIT survival show Are You Next evil edit? Or rig the votes, or favor one girl over the other? Technically, these are up in the air as far as facts go. But a very large group of people believe the last one to be true. For me, I'm on the fence. I think Hybe went into it swinging towards a cuter concept, but I wouldn't say they were 100% looking for cuter girls, and that's the only reason some were chosen over others. I don't believe the votes to be rigged, because at the end of the day, the members who were chose were preferred overall, especially in Korea. And the evil editing just doesn't make sense. As far as I remember, none of them were portrayed in a bad lighting. And I certainly do not think the members were pre-chosen. Their reactions to winning the spots says enough. Okay, so why does everyone still talk about how bad Are You Next was? I've thought long and hard about that, and I've finally come to a conclusion. Do what you will with this, but my best guess is that stans just get angry when their faves don't win. We see this happen with fully formed groups all the time. Why would a competition of trainees be different? And also the tried and true complaint recently, a quote-unquote lack of talent from the girls they picked. Fifth and even some of fourth gen have been under scrutiny by K-pop stans for about a year. On regards of companies only caring about visuals rather than the talents idols are usually associated with. Who cares what I think though, because Are You Next was heavily accused of doing pretty much everything I've mentioned so far, and much more. It wouldn't have been too bad if they would have kept it to the company, but stans attacked the ILLIT members like they were on the battlefield in World War II.
I say I'm lucky,
You see, as fans realize their opinions don't matter in the eyes of a company, Anger begins to stir and bubble in the K-pop stan pot. This anger turns to rage before boiling over in the most sickening display of hatred. The aggravation is understandable, but like most things, fans do the wrong thing and take it too far. In this case, that wrong thing is attacking and blaming the chosen trainees in the show for being favored, which makes zero sense. They'll pick and prod at them for anything they do, instead of using their anger to attack the show itself. This is most likely because K-pop stans are extremely shallow and for some reason only want to show hate for the idols and trainees. It's easier to hate the trainees you see on screen every week than the CEO who's faceless to us, so they just take the easier option. The ILLIT members were viciously attacked, as stated in the previous chapter, for being talentless. And it was, bad to say the least, the hate, not the talent. The aggressive comments really only amped up after a few specific girls were eliminated. Those girls seemed to be considered the best contestants by young Western fans. And when they were removed, viewers compared the ILLIT members to them. They honestly really mainly went after Wonhee, and mostly for her stage presence. Granted, at the time, she did leave a lot to be desired. However, it was brutal. There's a line that gets crossed between criticism and hate, and no one seems to understand where that line is, especially as she greatly improved before her debut. She was on par with her members when Magnetic released. As for the quieter vocal complaints, survival shows use very little support for the trainees. So it's pretty much just raw vocals while dancing. No crap, it's not gonna sound great. Think about it, guys. They're nervous trainees having to sing in front of a huge crowd all of a sudden. Also remember that performers usually use heavy supports to keep them stable, no matter how long they've been active. So it's not a wonderful place to judge their vocals. Same goes for encores, by the way. At the same time, ILLIT was suffering. Baseless accusations were being thrown at a judge. They claimed that one of them was a pedophile, and that was the only reason Wonhee in particular got in the group. This is unhinged behavior. Not only is it super disrespectful to the man you're claiming committed a crime, but also to Wonhee. There was so many people that thought this, and that also blamed Wonhee for it too. There were also some, definitely smaller groups of people, that said the members slept with the judges so they could gain their preference. Which is not only really weird to say about minors, but also that we still think that any successful women had to do that to get where they are. That was an idiotic take, and I shouldn't have to explain why it's wrong. So that's all I'm saying about it.
You know what? Not even God can stop me. I like you.
They put around 7 months of time between the end of Are You Next and their debut, probably because their 6th member left the group, which is speculated to be Min Heejin's fault. But either way, ILLIT as we know them debuted with their mini-album, Super Real Me on March 25, 2024. Right away, their concept received criticism for supposed similarities to their peer group, New Jeans. I actually agreed with this. I've changed my opinions though. New Jeans is more Y2K visuals with a UK garage band sound, whereas ILLIT is more cutesy, dreamcore visuals with a hybrid of plug and house music. Of course, this analysis differs depending on the song. Obviously, not all ILLIT music is house, much like how not all New Jeans is UK garage band. However, they're very different when you look at it. Even their clothes are worlds apart. They always have been. If you think they're copying, that just tells me you don't have a grasp on music genres and concepts. It was also torn apart for being cute in general. They said, and still say, that the concept was centered around Wonhee as she couldn't do a dark concept, and that all the other members shine in them. First of all, Wonhee looks like a porcelain doll, and could easily fit into a darker aesthetic if she wanted to. Just so we're all clear here that Wonhee is not the untalented swine y'all want her to be. And second of all, the other four work great in their current concept. I've never seen them look out of place or not stand out. Specifically bringing up their previous performances on Are You Next to somehow prove to us that they do better in a dark concept is weird. You wouldn't even know how they do if they weren't a survival show group. You'd just be happy. I've seen people either trying to hate on Yuna for not matching the concept or hating on Wonhee for forcing them to be a cute group. You guys don't even know how to not hate either way. Saw someone say, Yuna was born to be in a baddie group. Like, no, she was born to be a person, not a concept. Fans have it all wrong. They work amazing, how it is right now. And they do great at a baddie concept too. We can't deny, her battle with Hybe has directly affected ILLIT. We all want to act like New Jeans are the only victims, but ILLIT has been targeted multiple times because of this drama. When they got for not getting to talk to New Jeans, guess who got attacked? ILLIT, not their manager. They recently got Black Oceaned, minus NCT fans, because Bunnies and MHJ has turned everyone against them. Heejin went out of her way to claim that ILLIT plagiarized New Jeans when they debuted. Not to mention that she's tried to get everyone to believe that HYBE cheat their sales, which would include ILLIT. They were also accused of copying a New Jeans choreography by their choreographer, which was probably set up by Heejin. And it's alleged that she drove their sixth member to leave. ILLIT are actually probably the most affected by this, and everyone just ignores that to focus on New Jeans. They've had 10 times more struggle than all the other 5th-gen groups, and yet they still continue to do exceedingly well for themselves. Their list of achievements is insane. 1. Magnetic received 167 million views on YouTube. 2. Magnetic received 12 awards throughout promotions. 3. They became the girl group with the single most album sales in Hanteo history, with 380 million copies sold. 4. They became the fastest girl group to reach 2 million monthly listeners on Spotify. 5. They became the first 5th-gen group to rank on some of the Korean music charts. 6. Magnetic became the fastest debut to reach 100,000 uses on TikTok. 7. Magnetic reached the top 5 of every Korean chart within its first week. 8. Magnetic became the fastest K-pop song ever to reach 10 million listens on Spotify, taking only 4 days. 9. Their pre-orders doubled with All Like You with 55OK, surpassing all their peers. 10. Copies sold of All Like You keep skyrocketing each week. And I'm sure there's more where that came from. Cherish hasn't been out long enough to fully calculate, but I bet they're also gonna win Mama Awards this year. We're one day late, however I am always Strawberry Jin.